Thank you, Taylor. It's Faith Time, our weekly conversation on matters of faith. And joining us this morning is Pastor Harvey Earls with Bethel Baptist Church in Robertsdale. Thank you for joining us this morning, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, we wanted to talk about something that you guys have been doing for the past several years. We're talking about Christmas, the Advent season, and the walk through Bethlehem. We wanted to show some pictures from previous years. Tell us what the walk through Bethlehem is.
Walk Through Bethlehem is an outdoor recreation or version of events and sights and sounds as it might have been some 2,000 years ago of the events depicted in the Nativity and the Gospels and the Bible.
Wanted to get the plug in right away. When is this going to happen at your church in Robertsdale?
Walk Through Bethlehem will be December 7, 8, and 9. That is this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. each night with doors opening at 5:30.
Okay. Why do some churches choose to tell the Christmas story through these live nativity scenes?
Live nativity scenes such as Walk Through Bethlehem can offer something that a Sunday morning sermon might not can. Nothing against Sunday morning sermons.
Sure, of course. You do them every week.
I'm preaching one here in a few hours. But Walk Through Bethlehem will offer sights and sounds and, yes, even smells that you might not get in a Sunday morning sermon. You'll see live animals. You'll see the depiction of scenes that you can't quite describe from a pulpit. Very impactful to all ages, especially young ages. Kids love coming to Walk Through Bethlehem. Months afterwards, they'll show up at our church for some event and wonder where the shepherds are sometimes. So the word is impact.
So what is the message that you kind of want to send with an event like this?
We've succeeded in what we set out to do if we can get people to stop and think of what it might have been like some 2,000 years ago. It was a pretty dark day in Israel's time back then, and people who might not have had hope realized hope with a miraculous instant, the arrival of Jesus Christ. We want people to think about what that might have been, and we want people also to realize that the meaning of Christmas is not only what might have been, but what will be, that one day there will be a second advent, a second arrival where Jesus Christ returns again.
When you put together an event like this, how do you make something like this come together?
I scratch my head and ask myself that often. We have a lot of volunteers, a lot of wonderful folks in our church that come together, and we begin the process months ahead of time. We started talking about this in May or June, I believe, this year. We started handing out parts and scripts in August. We started putting up Bethlehem in October. Lots of different moving pieces, lots of volunteers, thousands of cookies baked, for instance. We'll have a rehearsal tonight, and so it's a lot of different man hours that come together to make this all possible.
What do you say is the most important part of this season to you?
Growing up, it was the presents.
Right.
I love the presents, but Walk Through Bethlehem represents a bigger picture of what is so wonderful and amazing about Christmas season. It's when the family comes together, it's when the church comes together, and we realize the hope we have in Jesus Christ. And at the same time, as we realize that hope, again, we look forward to the hope we have that He'll come again one day. And so Christmas is not only celebrating what Jesus has done for us, but is looking forward in expectancy to what He will do again.
How did you guys come to decide to do this as one of your big Christmas events?
Walk Through Bethlehem predates me as pastor. I've been there about 6 years. Walk Through Bethlehem, I believe this is the 12th time we've done it in 14 years. It is a brainchild of members of our church that came together. It started very small. I understand only dozens or maybe hundreds, and now we have several thousand that will come every year. It's just a Christmas gift from our church that really loves its community.
All right, that is the Walk Through Bethlehem. That'll be next weekend, Friday through Sunday at Bethel Baptist Church in Robertsdale. Pastor Harvey Earls, thank you for joining us for this edition of Faith Time.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And News 5 this morning. We'll continue after the break.